Okay, and here we have the Technobots out of their packaging. Now, real quick before we take a look at these guys, we're going to take a look at what's inside the envelope. We pretty much already know. I just thought I'd go over it real quick. We've got our little poster of Computron, the Minor Wars Transformers. You get the normal Hasbro logos. Trademark, everyone. And if I can dig it out of here, our little collector card. So there's that. I'm not going to worry about pulling out the instructions because basically it's just the fusion of all the individual instructions for these guys along with the combination instructions for Computron. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at all these guys. With Afterbreaker, we will do a transformation on that separately, but we're going to take a look at these guys individually just real quick after the group shot here. Look really good as a team, just as always with these combiners do. So let's go ahead and separate scrounge from strays. There we go. So now we get a look at all of them, and we will go to the individuals, starting with Afterbreaker. And here we have Afterbreaker, or more commonly known as Afterburner. Very nice, well, I'm not going to say motorcycle, even though there are handlebars here. He is not intended to be a motorcycle. He is meant to be more of a Cybertronian two-wheeled vehicle. At least that's one of the ways I see him as. A lot of people can see him as like a light cycle in the style of Tron, especially if you look at Quantron, I can't remember what the name of it. The name of the Make Toys version of Afterburner escapes me, but he was part of that Quantron set. Anyways, very nicely painted. I actually do kind of like this. I like both versions of this. They both work really well at doing what they do. This is obviously going more for the toy look with the kind of burnt orange and light muted red, along with the kind of like cream colored white. We'll see more of that here in robot mode. He's also got these little white blasters. Same mold as Groove, but they're painted from this translucent green that we see here on the canopy. So bringing in Groove, which we still have to take a look at. I mean, they are just this one piece. This is the only newly molded piece other than the head out of this entire figure. So just with that alone, you get two very different looking characters. Of course, more of a sporty police bike here. Anyways, let's go ahead and get Afterburner transformed into robot mode. Very simple, and if you've had any of the aerial bots, it's very similar to that, with a few changes. Basically what you want to do from here is pop this up from the fuel tank of what was the motorcycle. What would have been on Groove. Go ahead and bring that back. We'll go ahead and show the leg mode. I mean, it's not really used on Computron, but it's still worth showing off for the sake of Groove, which I still plan on doing my own review on Groove. But this is pretty much what you get out of the leg mode for Afterbreaker. A little strange. I mean, if you want to have that full like G1 arm look, you can do that, or just simply rotate it like that. Makes it a little bit more flush, especially if you can bring that down, maybe to there, to where it's like resting up against the leg. Anyways, let's go ahead and get him into robot mode. Whoop. Split the tire here. Oh, I guess we gotta pull these out, then rotate the wheels back. Go ahead and bring that out and down. Get them all straightened out to where these little tab holes here are shown, and just plug the tabs in. We got our waist rotation and just flip the head up. And as soon as I can get the legs, there we have Afterburner in robot mode, and go ahead and give him his blasters. And there we go. I mean, he looks really good. I mean, say what you will about this, I really like it. The colors really work for me here. Like I said, I do plan on getting the Takara one because that one's just better looking. But this is not bad if you do not have the money for the Takara Unite Warrior set. I mean, it uses all the same molding except for the weapons. The weapons will be different on that, but all the same tooling, just different paint on this guy. But I do like it. The black and the dark gray, kind of this charcoal color breaking up the orange, along with the silver and the red. Looks really good, and I do love that green light piping. Take a look closer here at the head. Very nicely done. Just stands out really well. And it is a different mold from Groove, so we'll take a look at that. And here he is next to Groove, and you can see a lot more details picked out here on the torso that weren't on Groove. But again, you get some details here picked out on Groove, like the the thighs, and the separation is a little bit different on the legs. But, any amount of character differentiation I would like. So another thing we can do is bring this around and have the wheel up like that. I mean, it looks a little goofy, but I guess you can bring it back a little further. In a way it's not so goofy looking, looking straight on. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next character, and that is going to be Lightsteed. Yes, you heard me right. This is not Lightspeed anymore. This is Lightsteed. I don't know why Hasbro, changed it that. I guess it has something to do with the licensing, but they could have called him Autobot Lightspeed or Technobot Lightspeed. I don't know. But anyways, it's just a repaint of Streetwise, straight up. Nothing different about this guy compared to Streetwise mold-wise, or as far as the mold goes. I guess for the look of the front of the car, they're going for like a dome cockpit. It's kind of hard to go for that when you paint the sirens right up there. So what is he, like a futuristic fire chief car now? Is this supposed to be like Red Alert at the same time? I honestly don't know what's going on, why they chose this mold. It doesn't even look much like the toy version, not even the cartoon. We'll get into that whenever I get my hands on the Takara. So, let's go ahead and get this guy transformed. There we have Lightsteed in robot mode, and yeah, he is a little too similar looking to Streetwise, even with the color changes. It doesn't feel right. It just feels like a well, not even a G2, more like a, maybe, I don't know. It looks like it's just too much Streetwise for me. So, I guess it works for what they're doing for the toy. I don't know. So let's go ahead and move on to the next guy. I mean, there's not really much to go on as far as paint deal. You just got the headlights, the rims, the stripe, the silver here, and the silver on the chest and face. That's really all there is. Oh, maybe a little bit right here on the abdomen. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. And here we have Nose Cone. This is his instruction / on the box transformation. I believe so. It's been a few minutes since I actually looked at the box, so. Anyways, this is pretty much how most people, or how he was packaged. I don't like it. It's just too weird. I'll go ahead and stick to the way we got it with ram horn and drill horn, and just do that. I mean, it looks a little bit more like his toy self, but not really. That, again, leads more towards the Takara, and again, this guy is just a straight-up repaint of Brawl. The only thing different is he comes with the drill cockpit nose cone piece that we got with drill horn, and, well, at the time that this came out, would have come out with Drillhorn, but you know, I got this after Loudgeyser, so Drillhorn and you know what actually came before this Ramhorn. I mean, the only thing about this, it's in that weird kind of, you guys know what shade of brown this is, orange and silver. Nothing to pick out the framework of the windows, just brown, orange, silver, yay. And everything else is just Brawl in, you know, it's just Brawl cosplaying as Nosecone, really. And doing a very poor job of it. So, we'll go ahead and transform this. There we've got Nosecone, and just as I said, just Brawl painted up like Nosecone. You get some burgundy here, and that waist issue is pretty much fixed on Nosecone here, but it's essentially just Brawl. I do want to say that the silver on this is beautiful. I love the silver. The yellow is a little sloppy. Same with the orange here on the face and the eyes. I mean, it's just hard looking at this guy and not thinking of Brawl just straight away. So, there is that. Let's go ahead and go on to the next one. And that's going to be Strafe. So, got him as a retool of the Air Raid mold, and it looks really good. I really do enjoy this. Not perfect by any means. I mean, you can't take these off and use them as handguns. Kind of a missed opportunity there for Hasbro, because these would have made great little pistols for this guy. I guess I just didn't want the extra parts count. But he does look really good. He does look a lot like the Starfighter that the original toy looked like. Get some more of this bright red. Some more orange here. That kind of cream color. It looks like he's been sitting on a shelf for a few years. Got a little black cockpit right here. A couple more little blasters here on the front. And he's got a little peg hole here that, well, we'll take a look at him here in a few minutes. But that's more for the combined mode. So there we've got Strafe. And, you know, he's not bad. I mean, it's very simple. There's not a lot of other details picked out. You get a little bit of this kind of rosy, silver, pinkish color. It's kind of like a mix of orange, like a pink, and silver. It's really weird. But it breaks it up a little bit, and you get some more burgundy here. We'll see more of that here shortly. But not bad. The only problem is he does not come with any weapons of his own. So you have to either nab one of Afterburners or just have him do that. So it's alright. So let's go ahead and take a look at Scrounge and Cybex. So, repaint of Cosmos with minor retool and repaint of Payload. Let's go ahead and get him transformed into robot mode. There we go. Little bright yellow robot with a red face. He's very, very angry or something about something, or having a very severe allergy, or he's holding his breath, hoping for a better version of himself. Kind of a depressing thing there. Anyways, let's go ahead. Oh, first look at some of the details here on Scrounge. Basically what you got with Cosmos, except this time it's the outline of those arrows, and you get the windows outlined in red paint, blue windows, a little bit of silver here, and red back here on the thrusters and the guns. So finally we're getting this Marvel character in toy form after, what was it, 28? Oh, at this point now it's about 30 years. And a lot of people don't really, a lot of newer people don't know who this guy is, so it's nice to finally get a toy of him, and parents can share their memories of this guy from the comics with their kids, or if you're like me, you can just look it up on the TF Wiki. And there we got Scrounge. Not a bad little guy. I mean, he looks really good. I love that head sculpt. You get that little Rocketeer fin going on back there. I'm just afraid of that snapping every time you pull it out, so probably just keep him in robot mode. And you got Cybax, who does still turn into the gun. Let's go ahead and flip that back. And there he is in gun mode, or should I say submarine mode. This is probably a more convincing submarine than 6-shot. So, yeah, let's go ahead and give him that. And there we go. So, not bad for Cybax. Let's go ahead and move on to fifth and final, being Scattershot. Now, this one is a bit different than what we got with the regular release version from Hasbro. As you can see, very different. We'll get these guys here in shot. He has a lot more details, and they actually broke up the red more than just a couple of shades. You got a more burgundy here for the main body and rear tail fins, as well as a big portion of the legs, the shoulders, biceps, and the hands. Whereas here you just got like 2 shades of orange. You got lighter red paint here, even brighter than the regular retail release. The whole fuselage here has been painted a very nice vibrant red. You get some blue paint coming through here, very nice, just highlighting some of those details. A little Autobot symbol there, some darker blue here on the cockpit, some of that red coming through onto the front of the nose cone. A little bit weird how they painted this guy. He's not really toy accurate or cartoon. This one, as far as the cockpit, is more toy accurate, and I believe the Takara is more cartoon. But very nicely done. No paint here on the cannon, but you do have paint on the rifle. And again, more paint split up throughout. Let's go ahead and get him transformed. Again, very simple. Check out my review of Silverbolt in the description. And there we got Scattershot. And again, a little bit more accurate, I believe, to the original toy. Let's go ahead and just put that here. And just put this on his back. So, there we go. Scattershot. A little bit more paint here. You got some more of that vibrant red, some more blue here. Get a little bit of pink-ish plastic here on the shins, which will be more shown in combined mode. A little bit of burgundy here on the hips and waist, or the cod piece. A little bit. Oh, never mind, that's not silver. That's just the white paint. But not bad. You got the little blue visor there. So let's go ahead and get the regular retail version in robot mode. And here we have him next to the regular retail version, and again, quite a bit of difference. A lot more color breakup here. And then we got here, all we got was a little bit of blue, the black, and the white hair on the thighs. And a big blue face. He's holding his breath. I know he is. Ah, I see. He was holding his breath for this guy. And he's still holding it because I'm waiting on to get the Takara. So, that's mystery is solved. Either that or he just covered his face with a Smurf. Anyways, let's go ahead and get these guys into their individual combined modes and combine them into Computron. And here we have all the Technobots in their combined mode. Now, as far as Scrounge and Cybax, you just pretty much put them in the vehicle mode in tow formation. We will do that, add that to the commander later. So let's go ahead and start off with Lightsteed and Nose Cone by putting on the redesigned feet for Computron. These were based on the design, based on what they did with Victorion in making her feet unique from the rest of the combiners, and they've done that here again with Computron. Now, to be honest, I really wish they would have done this with the rest of their, box sets, just to make them a little bit more different than the rest of the mainline figures. And we'll go ahead and put nose cone there. And already we're starting to need the camera to come up. I'll go ahead and attach strafe with the new designed fists, and same with afterbreaker, whatever you want to call them. And we go ahead and take afterbreaker's guns, put them in the thighs to thicken them up, and for the final weapon we take, now this is just something I like doing, kind of gives him a more pronounced scope, and we take scrounge and side-backs and put them there. And we have the Hasbro version of Computron fully combined, looking pretty good, a lot better than I thought he would. Still using that same old Superion head. At least this time around it is actually painted in proper Computron colors. Yeah, we would have liked for the actual mouth, but this works, and we did actually see this in the Combiner Wars Machinima series, so I mean it works for what they're going for. He is fairly stable. The only issue I have is these elbows on Scattershot are a little, they don't like to stay clipped in the straight position very often, so every time I try to pose him he'll fall backwards very easily. I mean, just the slightest. And that's mostly the knees right there, or the knee joints. But other than that, I mean, he is fairly stable. This is also a little loose up here, but a little floor polish will fix that right up. So yeah, not bad, and you can get him into a few decent poses using these feet as soon as I can get him into one. So something like that. Have the gun at the ready, and that's probably pretty much how I've been displayed on my shelf. So doesn't look bad. And just for a more full body view of him. Now real quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you him combined using the standalone Scattershot figure and see how that looks, because I'm honestly a little bit curious of how that'll look. So be right back. And here we have Computron in the Betatron kind of look, and honestly, you know, I know it's completely different from Computron, but this kind of looks a little bit badass. Just this all red torso, the black helmet. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not, again, it's not Computron, but just seeing this like this, it's kind of badass. It kind of grows on you. This is just an interesting little fan thing you can do. It fits for the playability of the toy line, and that's what I like about it. So, as far as Computron goes as a combiner, he's got some issues, mainly due to the fact that they're just sticking to straight up pretty much repaints besides a few new toolings here and there. Whereas with the Takara, they've changed so many things, and they're using more appropriate molds for their figures that I'm really looking forward to getting that and doing a review on it to compare and contrast the two versions. Not to say that I don't like this, but yes, it does have its flaws. So other than that, this is Adult and Adult and CFs. Sorry for making this such a long video. It's just hard to do, you know, these box sets and separate them out. I'd rather just do them in one, you know, one big video. So hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think of, you know, the just regular Computron and the Beta Computron, whatever you want to call this. That being said, I'll see you guys next time. Again, check out those links, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, along with the videos in the description, along with the rest of my other Combiner Wars playlists. So, this has been Adult and Adult Teen CFs. I'll see you guys next time.